Okay, I'm back. I even managed to get my contacts in today, which is the first time since I had the little eye thing, but everything looks good and I can see pretty well. So I have a new project. So hopefully I'll see some of you on here. Let me see. Sorry, I gotta set it up. It's been so long since I posted it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's been so long since I posted. Everything reset. So hopefully I got the audio going. And yeah. So anyway, I am working on a commission, which um, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a kind of a trip down memory lane to some extent, but it's also going to be a brand new build. So I'm going to I'll swap the camera. You can see this is a capybara, and I may actually call it a chupacabra because that's what I've been calling it as I've been going. Let me get this squared away a little bit. Everything gets a little funky when I stop posting. Oh well, it's straight on, I think. All right, so this is the capybara, which I had never heard of before this project, but that's what the client wants. Apparently, it's like a giant hamster, which, as longtime Melon Pool fans will know, I know all about giant hamsters. So I am actually going to pull out the old Sammy patterns, which I haven't looked at since probably 2001, and maybe I rebuilt them in 2004. I can't remember. It was either 2001 or 2004. I rebuilt all the puppets. Yeah, this is the 2004 one. So I have patterns, but it was prior to me kind of refining the way that I build puppets. So it's going to be interesting looking at these patterns. I'm probably going to use things like the body, maybe, and maybe use the head as a starting point, and then alter it to make it work the way I want it to. I did do a few drawings ahead of time. This is kind of what it's going to look like. It's going to be this giant rat that she can walk around with, probably closer in size to this, about 22 to 28 inches from the head to the butt. And I've been thinking this morning, I may put a way to feed armature wire down the arms in case she doesn't want to use, she just was supposed the arms as opposed to having rods in it. I'll have the removable rods, but I also may, if I can think it, I was thinking this might work. So if it does, I may start putting those into puppets like this. Also have some other puppets on here. Nelson from Mongrels, which I'm getting more and more obsessed with. I may rebuild Eddie coming up too, because I have been thinking a lot about things about Eddie that drive me crazy that I'd like to try and address. So we'll see if I can get some blinking eyelids on there and getting the ears working. And I may change the shape of his muzzle a little bit so that my hand doesn't have to do that in there. So anyway. Oh, thanks. Derek says, really digging the shirt. Again, I have a lot of Karate Kid shirts. I have a lot of Step Brother shirts. I have a lot of Star Wars shirts. Now I get the Karate Kid and the Step Brother shirts from my brother every Christmas. And I've taken to start giving him odd shirts as well. So it's kind of this thing we do back and forth. So a good third of my wardrobe are Karate Kid shirts, so, or Cobra Kai. So, all right. So I want to find the basic shapes that I want to do, and really his head is more or less a rectangle. Oh, maybe I'll show you what I'm drawing. His head's basically a rectangle with a circle or a sphere. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to graft a kind of a box onto the front of this thing and then kind of refine it to make this, to make that shape. I mean, I'm thinking that, I think I'll just draw it on there. I can always print out another one of these, but I'm thinking there's almost like a box with a little lip on the bottom, and then the hand's going to go in there. I mean, the hand will go down like this way. It's more like that. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I'm going to, she wanted it a little smaller, so I'm probably going to make it about like that size, the little arms. If I were to just try and draw this, this is how I would draw it. It's got that very, almost very hippopotamus type look to it. And I think the hand will go in there like so. And then the arm will come out the back. And then I'll have the little feet and the arms on there like so. This is the, I think it's the 2004. I think that's when I built this one, because it was just before I met BJ, and I met BJ in, I think, 2005 or 2006. So this is the Sammy puppet, you know, which has a lot of things in common. In fact, I'm going to use up some of this fur, this extra fur that I have, I think, to make him, because this is a real cheap build. Oh my gosh. Feeling what's inside of here, and the fact that there's absolutely no grip in there. I mean, it's amazing Chris could get anything out of this thing. I have a bunch of foam that's stuffed in here to try and address that. So, but I mean, the basic head shape's pretty close to what I'm going to do. So I want to get out those patterns, because I do actually hold on to all my patterns. So this is Sammy. This is the Sammy pattern. How would I ever know that? But one thing that I used to do was, I had this idea that, and it's kind of, I still do this to some extent. I had this idea that I should make the patterns out of similar materials, so that if there was stretch to it, I would use fabric. And if there was no stretch to it, I would use cardboard. Oh, here's one of his ears. Oh, this foam is nasty. It's really like deteriorated over the years. So let's see what we got in here. So this is his body, which I'll probably use a variation of this, at least to get started. It's funny that I would make it in two pieces as opposed to just one big piece. But anyway, this is his chin. This is just his fur covering for his hands. His tongue. Yeah, look at this. You can see this is that pattern right there. And his tongue. Where does his tongue go? So that's interesting. And I've got two of them apparently. This is his upper eyelid. His upper eyelid. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there's a little bit of foam up here in his eyebrow that keeps his eye open. It's interesting. And then his lower eyelid. I knew he had that. His bag. This is his nose. So his nose is that. And then his foam head and snout. So it looks like this goes together like that, which I'm going to change that completely. So maybe there's no, I think maybe I can use the snout as a starting point, and maybe the mouth plate. Where's the mouth plate? don't think I can use the chin. It looks like I've lost the mouth plate to the passage of time. Hey, Adam. Yeah, that. Again, this is kind of a double-edged. There's a couple of reasons why I'm doing this one. Number one, somebody wanted one. I gave her a good deal. But in addition to that, I have so much of this fur, and I've changed the fur that I'm going to use on the next version of this. So I kind of want to use that fur up, and it's the right color, and it's a little shorter than I'd like, but I think it'll work for this puppet. So again, if somebody can use up some of my supplies that I'm not going to use on something else, I might as well give them a break. So put that in there. So I want to show you guys this too, because these are the patterns for why I had this idea that I needed to keep them on the original material in order to I don't know, make it work. So let's see what we got here. We got this is his body pattern. If you can see this. So this is his body pattern. Again, I've learned over the years that I don't need nearly as many seams as I was given myself. But you can see there's no registration. It's real hard to even trace these things. But that's the way I did it back in 2004. So I thought it would be an interesting archaeological dig here. And this is his head. Okay, so let me see. This is the mouth. And this is the fabric pattern. What is this? Is this a dart? I guess that's a dart. And this is a dart. Wow, this is really weird because I totally wouldn't do it this way now. And I guess the nose, I don't know how the nose goes in here. I guess it just goes on top of the pattern. Huh. Yeah. All right. Well, this was less useful than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to call this probably Chupacabra or Chewbacca. All the way through this, but yeah, it's Capybara, right? Is that what it was? So I'm kind of tempted. I mean, I know that's going to get me pretty close, this piece. You know what? I might just start from scratch. I thought I was going to be able to modify this pattern, and I will be able to with the body, but I think it's better if I do the head from scratch. And what did I do with all that foam? Oh, there it is. Okay, I cut out a bunch of wedges when I made the it wasn't Godzilla. I made a bunch of them when I did what was the one I did before Godzilla? Still too short. Boy, it's a hot day here in California. I'm sweating already. I guess I cut them out when I did Ben Franklin. That was what I had all these foam pieces from. But you can see how much just being out in the in the UV light has changed its foam in just a couple of weeks, maybe a month. This is the color it was when it started, and this is the color it is now. So that's why you want to put your stuff away. I got to clean this place up too. It's getting out of hand. Speaking of getting out of hand, the Terry puppet's up for sale again. The guy never paid, so I had to relist it. Zoidberg's still available too, but yeah, I may have to rethink my career choices here. Oh, this is a pattern. So I'm just going to make a sphere and then start altering it, try and get to the capybara head. Oh, this is a pattern too. This is the thigh. I'm beginning to think that because Godzilla was so huge, I'm beginning to think that all these scraps that I've been holding over to the side are actually pattern pieces. Okay, let me cut a new piece here. It doesn't matter. I'm probably not going to build another Godzilla anytime soon. Man, that was tough. I had 2 pins, and one of them was sitting back to my finger, and I just stabbed myself. So take a drink. The hardest part of the energy build. Oh, there we go. Man, that was rough. And this is the point where I should put on my apron so I don't ruin yet another shirt. And I probably could get away without making too many patterns, but I mean, how much demand am I going to have to make a bunch of these puppets? But again, you never know. This could become the most widely known puppet I ever made, and I'll have to make 50 of them. So it's better to do all the work at the beginning just in case, I guess. I'm still waiting for that. I should just spend a day making a bunch of wedges and putting them in a tote so that I don't have to actually make them every time I make a spear. But I never plan that far ahead, I guess. Originally, I was going to build the Sammy head again and then alter it, but it was less alike than I thought it was going to be. So I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to build something that looks like that. So I'm building this part right now, the spear, and then I'll cut that off and add whatever the beginning of this is. It'll probably have a nose that looks like that from the front end. I'm going to go up this point. There. That's my plan. Oh, it's stinky in here. So I guess my process is that I I try to draw it, find the shapes, build the shapes, then, refine it, get it to kind of where I want it, and then true it all up and make the final head. I think that's usually the way I work. And I feel like you don't necessarily have to draw it, but you do have to kind of identify the shapes. And in drawing it, that helps me find the shapes. I actually think I might be splitting this shape to make the jowls. We'll see. Okay, and we're done. I hope you enjoyed. No, say that every single time. Okay. So I know that I wanted to have a point. This is already starting to have a point, so I'm going to kind of lay it in there like that. I'm going to add. This is going to be my center line. And I think the beginning of the head, the front muzzle is going to be that. Bigger question is, what happened to my blade? No idea. Sure not that one. I'm pretty sure that this apartment complex is going to lead to me going crazy from all the sound noise pollution that goes on. I'll start talking to myself. No, wait, I'm already doing it. Oh, there it is. And I'm just guessing at the shape I need, but I've been doing this enough that I kind of know where to start. I mean, it is. It's just foam, so why not just cut it off? You know, if it doesn't work, just glue it back on. Okay. I'm going to make a quick mouth plate. I had a similar problem lately. It's the moment where the fluff is my never mend. I got it. Yeah, it's I don't know. It it gets to the point where you start misplacing things so fast that it doesn't really, you get used to that as being part of the process. And I'm less trying to make this perfect as I am just making it functional. Okay, so it's gonna help me define. And actually, I think it's gonna go that way. I think it's actually going to be that I cut it like that, but I'm going to start here before I cut that off. But okay. So I know that's going to be yeah, definitely is artistic chaos. Okay. All right, what do I know? I know that the front of the nose is going to look like that. And I know that the top elevation is going to look like that. So I'm going to cut those shapes out and see how well I did. I'm going to cut that part a little long because I don't really know the length. Okay. So that's going to go on like that. Yeah, let me glue that in place. And this is the way I work on all these things. This is how it works. A lot of waste and a lot of mistakes, but I think the result looks good. I don't usually use the hair dryer on the final puppets, but in prototyping, it only has to stand up to me working on it for, you know, what, half an hour, 45 minutes. Okay, so that is way too long, what that is. Actually, I can kind of figure this out now too. What is this puppet going to be? This is going to be a capybara. It's going to be this. So like a giant guinea pig hamster thing. Again, that's too long still. Maybe not. It's a little bit too long. Now the mouth is too long. Wait, what am I doing here? That needs to go in there. So what I'm doing is I'm finding this shape here. So I'm going to glue that in place. See how it looks. And I'm also going to cut out the bottom jaw a little bit. I think I'm just going to do that at first. Open that up. So I would have actually videotaped or would have live cast the live streamed more of the Godzilla build, but after the head was done, it got so big, there's just no way for me to put it on camera. And as a result, I couldn't really broadcast the build anymore, or live stream the build anymore. So I'm going to glue these pieces down, even though this is probably not going to be his lower jaw. It's just kind of a starting point. But I need to create tension there. That brings back memories where I paid 50 cents a long time ago in a carnival to see the largest rat in the world. Talk about being scammed. Was it just some guy making fun of people or not paying their bills? Is that kind of how it works? That's funny. That may become my new job, where I just try and scam people. Wait, there's here. Yeah, the capybara. Okay, so you're starting to see what I'm seeing here. It's starting to become something. I need kind of a rectangular shape or slightly parallelogram. I guess more like a parallelogram to go in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on here and then kind of trace it. Oops. And I'll make 2 of those. Yeah, that's about right. So a lot of the process for doing these different shapes for me is to find the shapes that I know and then build all of that and then just fill in the gaps. And then as you fill in the gaps, you can find the shapes that you don't know. And then failing that, you just guess. Okay. Moment of truth. So I actually glued 2 of my fingers together during Godzilla. I was using super glue on just a little piece of it and glued these 2 fingers together like that. And I couldn't do anything with either one for about 2 hours while I was getting it off. So this may not actually be the right shape, but it's a place to start. So apparently people call this thing the Ottoman animal because a lot of other animals just sit on it. Maybe Dick Van Dyke always falls over it. I don't know, but oh, I don't have a neck hole yet for this thing. Okay, here we go. Getting there. I'm going to cut the neck hole. I think the neck hole is going to be farther back on it than I usually do. Back here. That line is very misleading because it's from another line that was on the foam already. Okay. All right. So this needs to come up. You can tell already, and that needs to. Okay. So this needs to be flattened out. That'll make those cheeks that I want. And then I need kind of a V, big V. I think that's the shape I need, but we'll see. It's close. Spreads again. And again, these aren't the shapes that it's going to be when it's done, but it's going to get us to a point where I can then flatten it out and make a real pattern. But what I like doing, why I like doing it this way as opposed to just doing the clay sculpture, is that I can actually put my hand into it and see how it moves as I'm building it, and really bypass a lot of the problems that you get after you've built the initial pattern from the clay sculpture, and you can adjust for it in before you get too far in it. No, she's in the other room. I have the window open and the fan going, and if she comes in here, I shoo her out. It's kind of getting to be too much for me in here too, but I'll be done in a second. In fact, I should shut that door so she doesn't come in. All right, so this is where we're at right now. I think the chin, there's a little bit too much down here. I'm going to fix that. I'm probably going to point up this head a little bit. It's starting to get there. I like this lower jaw. So what can I do to fix that? I think this whole. I think what needs to happen. I keep telling myself. So sometimes you can kind of squeeze it together to kind of see how it's gonna alter, and then that informs what you're taking away. So I'm going to take away this and this. And I love how they're completely different shapes. Let me try and even that out a little bit. I could do one side, see how it looks. But I'm a glutton for punishment, so. So that's going to go on like so. And then I'll cut a new neck hole. We make a new neck hole. You can see how much that's changed the shape of that from the material I removed. All right. So you see it's starting to get there. I'm still going to do some more futzing with it. I need to adjust this mouth plate, and I need to open this mouth up. So I think I'll try to decide what the best way to open this mouth is going to be. Let me just look at it for a second. So one way to do it that I use a lot is I'll put a wedge. I'll take this material out. This material right here out. So this goes away. And then if I cut that away and then glue this back in place, then the face will be open like that. And it'll be easier to puppeteer. So let me see what that does. I think that's gonna be really nice. Do you ever thin down your contact cement? I've been told to do that, and if I can ever afford some thinner, I will. But yeah, I mean, I used up probably 2/3 of this can on Godzilla, so I probably should thin it out to try and keep it going a little bit longer. I've never done it myself, but both BJ and another puppeteer recommended that I do that. I like a little bit thicker contact cement though. When it's too runny, I have a lot of problems. Okay, I feel like this nose is too long now. So I'm gonna adjust that. That. I kind of feel like if I just cut away this and then maybe put a couple slits here, I could just pull that in. I think that's what I'm going to do. Nope, still have Dr. Zoidberg. I wish Zoidberg has not been sold. He didn't even get any bids. But if somebody wants them, they can contact me, make an offer. Yeah, I still have I have Terry's up on eBay right now. I think a lot of things with I think a lot of the lower priced puppets on eBay or wherever are really hurting the sale of some of these other puppets. I think they're completely underselling their services. And I mean, it's a good time to buy, I guess, but I mean, I can't afford to put 100 hours into a puppet and get $800, I guess. So I either have to spend less time or, if you think about it, if I sell a puppet for $1,000 and I put $100 hours into it, I'm getting $10 an hour. Now, if I'm selling it for $3,000, I am getting $30 an hour, which is still not even a living wage. But what can you do? I guess you can put 15 hours into a puppet instead, and sell it for $1,000 and be okay. And then there's materials too. Like on this one, I'm gonna just use this upholstery foam on it because I'm not making enough money to really warrant using the good foam. Okay. Here's where we're at right now. Let's see if I can see what's wrong with it. Okay, I think I need to take away a little bit of the back of the head. So I'm gonna, because I want to put more of a point at the top of the head. So I'm going to take away a wedge back here. Yeah, I get better seams when I use it. Yeah, see, that's gonna fix that up. Okay, here we go. Again, most of what I've built has been for TV and film. and it helps to use the better materials. And then for my own personal stuff, I want to use the better materials as well. I'll have to cut that neck hole again. Hey, hello, Chase. Yeah, thank you, Chase. I sent Chase a video DVD with a bunch of old Melonpool puppet things on it called the Melonpool Quickcast, which I done for Kevin Smith's old website, and I'm glad you enjoyed them. They actually used to be on YouTube, but because of music rights or whatever, they kept cutting them off. They kept taking them down. Otherwise, they'd be up there now. Okay, now I'd like to pinch this part of his nose in a little bit more. And I think the way to do that is to change the shape of these tear duct pieces. Maybe take, actually, you know what? If I just, okay, it almost just needs to be squeezed. Yeah, I think. If I take out those pieces, I think it'll suck that in. I'm gonna try that. This I'm less confident about because I think it's pretty close already to what I want. Still pretty flat though. If you're familiar with other Kickstarter puppet movies, Melonpool got me into those. I don't know of any other puppet ones. There was one that what was that guy's name? I can't remember his name, but he did one called War Sheep. He was another puppeteer right around the same time I was doing those, and he did a stage show. It was kind of based on Warhorse, but it was with sheep. So Ryan asked, when you prototype foam shapes, is it pretty much trial and error, or are you thinking about other basic concepts? So what I do is I make the basic parts, like if I were to just construct it, if I was just drawing it, and then from there it's just about refining it to the point where it looks the way I want it to. I think this is just about done, at least this version of it. I mean, he's a monster. I still think that needs to, let's see. Actually, you know what? It's not too bad. When I let's see, can I get this on here so they're about the same size? Not have my hand over it. I kind of feel like I still need to chop off a good chunk of that nose. What am I doing here? Okay. Back to the drawing board. Okay, so this that needs to be more rounded out. And a lot of this will be fixed when I do the cleanup, but and I feel like I should chop out a good chunk of this and pull the mouth back. So I'm going to put this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that back to here. Same on this one. And I'm going to I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm just going to try and graft this in. Actually, you know what? If I do that, sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop away this part up at the top here to flatten this out a little bit. I'm going to then cut away this part and take this whole part out. And this whole thing's going away. And then I'm going to move the whole muzzle part back about an inch. It looks great for a dog snout. Yeah, if it only was a dog. Kind of a pit bull. So that part stands. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut away all this. I'm going to stick this back on here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Glue this whole thing back together. Yeah, it's all kind of trial and error. Make sure I know what I'm doing here. And a lot of this will flatten out when I do the truing up of it, but I want to try and get it as close as I can. Like a lot of these hard edges will smooth out based on the way that the seams are set up. Yeah, it's again, if the worst thing that happened is I had to start over from scratch, so what? You know, I don't get that brave with stuff that I've gone through the process of actually, patterning out and making the finals. I don't usually go in and do that, but when it comes to this sort of stuff where I make a big adjustment like that, at this stage, it doesn't really matter. He's a lot smaller now, too. And remember, there's a lot of fur that will fill in a lot of this, too. So we got the pointy head. We got the snout. Oops, wrong way. Show my spatial relationships here. He's kind of got his head tilted like this too. I think I just need to flatten up that top of that head and then I'm ready to go. It's so funny because I was trying to get that point on there and now I'm just like trying to get rid of it. It's even hard to watch. Yeah, I tell you, the part that I worry about is, like cutting into my finger as I'm doing it. Like that's all I need is to show you guys that. I think what it all boils down to is I just don't care. It's like, so what if I have to do it again? It's more about getting it right and not expecting to be right the first time. And I may have to blow this whole thing up. It's so funny because it's just a big pig now. Um, I may have to blow this up a little bit to make it a little bit bigger, but at least I got the shape. I put so much glue on this thing. So I was in the shop when they were building the baby Einstein puppets, and they often would do 5 or 6 prototypes, build it, see how it looked, make changes, go back, rebuild it. So I'm not nearly as fearless as those guys, but it would like the first 3 weeks would be basically making and remaking the prototypes. I love all the stuff that I put into this that I've now taken out. So the fur is going to come down to here. But so let's see if I can do this. Trying to get them roughly the same size. Let me look. I'm just looking at them. So I kind of feel like this is all going to be fur up to here. I don't really need this part. All it's doing is I've lost the back of it. I'm going to add more fur back, more foam back here. So what I'm going to do I think I'm going to this is almost to the point where I'm going to completely take it apart. So yeah, it's almost there. It's really close. Actually, you know what? Strike that. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take a chunk out of both. Thereabouts. I'm not the biggest fan of cheeks like this, but I think he kind of needs it. I think about this as the skull. So I need the structure for the fur. It's going to be over it. Otherwise, it's not going to lie the way I want it to. And I know he needs cheeks to get that effect that I'm wanting. And I can tell already that he's he's not symmetrical. He's close, but that's okay. So what I did was I made a circle that's smaller on the head and a little bit bigger with a wedge out of it on the plug. And then I'm going to plug that hole with this, and then it's going to push it out because of that plug that I put together. So that's what I'm going to do. I did the same thing on Miss Piggy. Actually, I probably could have used Miss Piggy's head as a starting point. Probably going to look pretty close. Yeah, it definitely is Pac-Man. And a lot of it is just getting the, like, ignoring things like the ears and the nose and stuff that maybe informs the shape, but you have to kind of ignore those things when you're making the different pieces because those plan-ons will just cause you problems if you're trying to pattern around them on the when you're putting the skin on. I swear sometimes. So I got the question. Just wondering if you'll still finish the live stream if a plane comes down on your neighbor's house. I probably would. I probably would still continue. If it hit my house, I probably would still be doing it. They are so close. I barely even register that they're there anymore. It's like they come by so often. And I may have told this story on the live stream before, but I rented this house during COVID, rented this apartment, and I did it all over the phone. And I didn't actually see the interior until the day I moved in, and I had the moving men here. I'm signing the lease. They're all waiting outside for me to get done so they can unload the moving van, and I basically a plane goes over, and mid me filling out that form, the landlady says, "Oh, by the way, you're in the flight path." And really, at that point, there was nothing I could do about it. I mean, I was already out of my other apartment and everything. Okay, I think what it's going to do is I think I'm going to make these Pac-Men just a little bit. I'm gonna make it the one size bigger, and that'll push it out more. But there he is. Let me see. Let me see what I can do to make him look more like the capybara. I think he looks like a hippopotamus right now. My house is so close to SeaTac Airport that I keep getting confused. Yeah, you know, where's that drawing? I don't really bother. It doesn't bother me about the airport. Those are too small now, but oh well. Well, I made 2 fake ears. I just don't know what happened to the other one. Probably down here on the ground someplace. That's what I get for having all this foam everywhere. Oh, there it is. Nope. I mean, I guess I could just make a new one. This is probably closer to what I want anyway. Well, there is a piece in there, but it's not the. It doesn't matter. I think I did find it. I just didn't recognize it. There's that. Sometimes drawing on the, at least at this stage, drawing on the features kind of helps to see what you're doing. I mean, yes. I think I'm gonna adjust that mouth a little bit. I don't know how yet, but yeah, I don't know. It's good enough. It's good enough for this stage. I'm gonna clean this area up and then cut it all apart, true it up, make a new prototype, and then probably make a few more adjustments to it. But it's at least to the next stage of this thing. I hope this is interesting. It's it's a process. It's so funny because I keep finding pieces of Godzilla here. Like I found some of his foam. Okay, let me me just cut this thing apart. You're getting a bonus. Okay. I guess I should have taken a picture of it to make sure I could get it back together. Okay. Oh my gosh. I did a great job at gluing this. Okay. So I think I'm going to make sure this is going to be one size bigger, this circle. And that might be the pattern. Pretty close to it. Looks like Jurassic Park. See if I can get this thing somewhat the same shape. Yeah. All right. Let me see what I can do. I mean, this guy's head is more or less rectangular shaped. I don't know why I didn't start with a rectangle. It would make it's very close to a pit bull. I think I might market it as a pit bull. I my big plan right now is to, and I started, I just haven't done it, is I want to start putting more patterns up on the website. And one of the things I want to do is break the dogs into different sections, like the arms and the legs and different heads and different bodies that you can mix and match. And all the pieces are fairly modular, so that you can make different dogs. Like um, maybe have like I mean, I have the corgi head done. I have a Italian Greyhound head. I've got a Dachshund head, and I could do a pit bull, but this is pretty close to a pit bull terrier, probably. I think. I want to pattern the. Oh, I didn't put the tick marks on. Oh well. Um, I want to pattern a Simpson's jaw, Simpson's mouth, because I think that is something that would be very valuable to people. That extreme overbite pattern. That might be another one I do. And then Ben Franklin's ready to go. I just have to upload him as a pattern, because I think he's very valuable for like a portly fellow. A portly fellow. I'm just, that's actually pretty well in the right spot. Yeah, okay, they lined up pretty well. Okay. I do too. I actually am working on a character for a client right now that has an extreme underbite. And you can see how much this, as close as, as much as I tried to make them the same, how much different they actually are. I always work very sloppy to clean. Like I just kind of want to. It's the same way I draw. It's like it's all kind of scratch, rough, and uh, very sketchy until I get to the final drawing, and then I try to be as clean as possible, which is exactly the way I do this. And I'm kind of cleaning up some of this. I'm like giving a little bit more space in the mouth because I know I'm going to adjust that a little bit. Okay. That's the pattern I'm going to use right there. For those of you that want to follow along at home. I'm going to need to do this piece. And I went up one size for what I used before. Which I used that one before, although that looks awfully small. Oh no, I used this one. Think about like that. I don't know. There's maybe a more exact way to do it. There's that. Make sure I do the tops and the bottoms. They're almost exactly the same. And I want to make it a little smaller because it was a little too big. Bottom jaw. I also want to cut off a little bit of this. This too. And because this is a center line, it doesn't really matter where the registration is, but it's important to put the registration on so that way you can line up the two sides correctly. And in an ideal world, I would have registration around here too, but oh well. I'm always trying to do underbites and overbites on characters, and so many puppet builders do not like it. They don't, for whatever reason. They're like, "Oh, it makes the character look dumb." And I'm like, well, I mean, it makes it look interesting to me. It's amazing how much the one side was correct and the other side is not. It doesn't really matter. Again, I'm going to cut in on it so that because it was a little too big. original. Where's the other one? Probably nothing will fit now, but okay, it's pretty close. All right, this top mouth plate. Okay. All right. Well, now I'm gonna make the final one, or maybe the mid-range one. I haven't decided yet. We will see. It almost fits. Okay. See, I think that looks like a T-Rex. Actually, I'll probably use L200 or EVA foam for this piece because I'm using fur and that usually needs a little bit more structure. I'm actually surprised this piece isn't more round. Ah, this garbage. And again, this may not work. I'm always shocked when it works as well as it does. Oh, well, now I've done it. Fix that. I ripped my pattern as I pulled it off there. All right, good as new. When I did the honey puppet, I actually took the Mayberry pattern and I made the dart. I traced it, and then I made the dart into the mouth, and the mouth into the dart, and it completely changed the head shape. But it was I just altered it slightly, and it worked really well. So that's another thing to think of. Is like you really want to change your, come up with a new shape. Take an old pattern and see what else you can make out of it. All right. I've got so much junk around here now. It's gonna get bad. I really need to clean this up. But. Yes, it is. It's very hard. Um, but it. I'm sure I used to drive BJ crazy because I was a very messy builder. Um, but he was always one at a certain point who would sweep up. He would clean up the shop at the very end of the day so that it would be clean the next day. I was somebody who just kind of piled stuff up as I went, so I'm sure it drove him crazy. When I worked at Legacy briefly, and that was also at the end of the day. The last 45 minutes was cleaning up the space, sweeping and all that. I'm on the edge of my seat as to what this thing's going to look like. And this is the mid-range version. It may actually be the final one, but I think it's going to be the mid-range one. So it's where I can alter it. At least I get a better idea of what it's going to look like. So I'm not being particularly. I mean, these aren't the cleanest cuts in the world, but they're cleaner than the last batch. Trying to keep it up and down, trying to not rip too much of the foam. I say as I rip the foam. Trying not to cut my hand. Okay. All of those pieces done. Make the mouth real quick. I'm gonna make it out of cardboard again. Yeah, I'll make it out of cardboard again. It's almost the right size. Almost. Boy, I get my money's worth out of these Amazon boxes. Okay. There's my. I think I have the top and the bottom labeled wrong. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, I'm just going to put this thing together, and if it looks good, great. If not, I'll probably come back a little bit later and make some alterations, or I might do it off camera and then tell you about it next time. I hope this
seeing this process helps. I'm not sure these real darts are doing much of anything, but gotta trust the process, I guess. I really should wear gloves. I have a box of gloves right here, like within arm's distance, and I never remember to put them on. Okay. Should be it for the gluing. Oh, almost. Okay. All right, moment of truth.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. Okay, and because actually, I'm okay. Well, that's what we got. It's I think I need to do a little something up here at the top. Maybe add just a little bit of material right here. Maybe a diamond shape. But most of it looks okay. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know. We'll see. See how I feel about it. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I have to do some stuff. That's what that alarm is keeps going off. But hopefully that was helpful, and I'll be back on, if not today, then tomorrow, for more Capybara, Chupacabra, Chewbacca. Oh, there's that other ear. Goodness, I guess. So, all right. Okay, I'll talk to you later.